Welcome and welcome back everybody, Tabletop Toki here, and in today's video we'll be doing a solo playthrough of Embers from designer Steven Aramini. During the course of the playthrough, I'll give a tutorial about how the game is played, and be sure you stick around for the end of the video where I share my thoughts about the game in general. Before we start, a huge shout out to ButtonShy Games for providing a preview copy for us to check out here today. And since it is a preview copy, just make note that all rules, components, etc. are subject to change for the final release, which is scheduled for September of this year, 2025. But without further ado, let's get started. So here is a game of Embers set up and ready to play. Over the course of the game, we'll be trying to last through 4 rounds until dawn by maneuvering our heroes around the camp to defeat monsters and keep the fire lit. For setup, we'll first take the night card and place it with the 4 side up, shuffling all the fire cards and placing them on top with 1 card off to the side to start the forge pile. We'll then shuffle all 5 heroes on their level 1 side, putting 1 in each of the 4 cardinal directions, and the remaining hero off to the side in the tent. Each round will be broken into several phases. The first phase will be spawning monsters. You'll spawn 1 monster for each hero present in the camp. Start by taking the top fire card, flipping it over to its monster side, and looking at the revealed position on the next fire card. This is where the monster will spawn. Monsters will prioritize traveling to empty spaces. So if, for example, it was to spawn here instead, it would spend up to 3 movement to move to an empty space. But since this is already empty, it will spawn there. After we spawn 1 monster for each of our heroes, then we'll look at the top fire card. In a normal game like we'll be playing today, we'll use all the effects, but in easy game, we'll ignore the effects of the exclamation point events. Then we move on to the use action phase. Each hero will be able to use any combination of 2 actions to maneuver, moving around, defending, which will get rid of monsters and put them into your hand, foraging, which will allow you to recover lost fire cards, bolstering, which will boost the actions of other cards, and upgrading, which will allow them to go to their 2 side. Once we've completed that, any cards we've collected in our hand from defending against monsters and foraging will go to the bottom of our campfire. Then the monsters will attack back. First, they will get rid of fire equal to the number of fire icons on their card, and then they will attack the hero that is in the closest position. If 2 heroes are equidistant, then you can choose which one it will attack. Sum up the total number of attack marks of the monsters on that space. If it meets or exceeds the hero's hit point value, they will go to their level 1 side and be placed into the tent. The last thing we'll do is reinforce. If you have less than 4 heroes, you'll take a hero from the tent that was not placed there this turn and put it in any empty space. The only other thing that we need to know as we go on is as monsters spawn and we remove cards from this deck, eventually we'll reveal our night card. When that happens, you'll lower the value by 1. In an easy or normal game, you'll get 1 free upgrade of one of the heroes at the camp. Once the 1 is revealed, it will be removed, and that will be the final round that we have to outlast to win the game. If at any points there are no fire cards left in our deck, we will have lost. And that's all we need to know to get started. So we've already spawned our first monster here, and we're going to spawn 3 more for a total of 4 based on the number of cards we have in camp. So we're flipping this. It's going to go up here to this area. We have another one up there, so it'll stack like so. And we have 1 here. All right. So we have choose 1 hero to receive 1 action instead of 2. Interesting. I think we probably want our scout to only get 1 because they can't really get to a good position with any of our cards here, unfortunately. So the scout will only have 1 action this turn. What do we want to do? Let's see. We can move our forager up here to this position. So there are these 8 positions around here, and we are going to use that as 1. That's the maneuver action. And then we'll use 1 to defend, and we will get rid of this card that removes 2 fire. So this will go effectively into our hand. So that is 2 actions for the forager. Now that they're completed, we can use another one. Let's use the leader to move to this position and defend. This card will go into our hand. Our scout only has 1 action, so I think we will use it to forage and get this card into our hand. And our defender, unfortunately, can't really maneuver anywhere great. So I think what they will do instead is they are going to upgrade and flip to their level 2 side. All right, now that our heroes have resolved all their actions, we're going to move to the monster's attack phase. So this monster will not affect our fire, and it will do 1 damage. We'll choose the defender since these 2 are equidistant, and it only does 1 of the 2, so our defender is safe for now. And then we also have this monster up here, which will damage 1 fire, and we'll do 2 damage to the forager, which unfortunately will put them to the tent. And oops, I forgot to put these cards at the very bottom of our fire before we did that. So then We can reinforce. We have less than 4 heroes at camp. Our fire tender then, since they were there last round, can go out and they can go immediately across the fire as their maneuver ability. So I think none of these spots are really particularly great for them. Maybe we will just put them here so they're a little spread out from where these cards currently are at. Okay, and then we're gonna go to our next spawn monster phase. So we have our first one, which is gonna go to the bottom. It'll move 1, do another one, which will go 2, and then we have 3, oh my gosh, and then we have 4, and it'll move up to 2, so like so. It would be great if we could get our defender here. Unfortunately, that's not great. And when revealed, flip 1 hero from a level 2 to a level 1 if possible. Great, so we have a level 1 defender now. Excellent. Let's see, what can we do? Our scout could jump over here and defend for 1. Then we could have not a whole lot of other great things happening. Our defender could get over there, which isn't the best. Let's just start with that. So we're gonna have our scout jump over this empty space and over a hero to get to here. And then they will defend against these monsters for 1. Let's get rid of the one that gets rid of a hero as well, because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of people dying here very shortly. So the scout is done. Then we can have our defender jump over these to go up here and defend. So we'll do that. So maneuver for 1, defend for 1. That goes into our hand. We have our leader and our fire tender left. If we upgrade our leader, then they can actually move somebody else. So then we could use our fire tender to leap across with 1 maneuver. Oh, but that's unfortunate because we would need them to leap. We would need to do both actions of a hero before we move on to another. So what do we want to do? Maybe we just take the hit here and try to forage. We only have 1 card to forage. I think that we then probably want to upgrade our leader for 2. We'll move our fire tender across. No, we could bolster the scout and get rid of this. I think that's what we'll do. So we'll bolster using 2 actions to give the scout 1 more action, and they will defend against this monster. These cards will go to the bottom of our stack, and then the monsters will attack. So we have 1, 2, 3 fire cards are going to be removed. 1, 2. We're going to pause to switch over to the next knight and upgrade 1 of these. I really like the defender's power. We'll upgrade them. And then 3. And our nearest hero will take 4 damage. These are equidistant, so we will get rid of our scout here instead of leader. And then we can reinforce with the forager. It can move any number of empty spaces to a place. I think we want to move the forager here so the defender can maybe jump down. We'll see if that works out. All right, and then we're ready to go into our next spawn monsters phase. Let's go ahead and flip. We have 1, oh my goodness, 2, all right, 3, so up here, it'll move up to 2, so it's actually going to be in this bottom right slot, and 4 down here. Beautiful, you love to see it. Okay. I think what we would like to do is we will see if we can clear out as many of these possible. No more than 2 heroes may maneuver. I think that that will be okay. The first thing I'd like to do is move the defender all the way around here. So that's 1 maneuver, and then they're going to defend 2. Then we're going to use the leader to maneuver the defender over to this bottom left slot. They have 1 more action. I think what they would ideally do is forage. So that's 2. We can then use the forager and the fire tender to bolster the defender, which would give us 2 more defense actions of 2 each. So let's use the forager to do that. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of 2 of these. Yeah, let's do these 2. And then we're going to use the fire tender to also bolster the defender to get rid of 2 of these. All right, and that is it for our heroes and our actions that we can use. This monster will attack, getting rid of 2 fire. 1, oh, wait, these go to the bottom. Whew. I almost forgot. Very important step. Okay, and then we get a free upgrade as we go down to 2 and put that at the bottom. Let's go ahead and upgrade the forager because I think we're gonna need a lot of foraging power, and they can forage twice as their upgraded action. That was 1, and then we have 2. All right, this one attacks for 1, no fire. This one didn't have an attack, so that's why the forager is safe. We have all 4 camp spaces taken up, so the scout is going to stay out for the reinforced phase this round, and then we are ready to spawn 4 new monsters. Okay, we cleaned up pretty nice there, and we are almost out of fire, so let's see, we have 1 up there, and then we have 2 down here, but it will move up to 2. Then we have 3, and it'll move 1, and 4, so it will be down here, but it'll move 1 to this position. Okay. Interesting. They're very spread out this round, and we have no more than 2 heroes may defend. That is not great, but I think we will be okay. Let's use our defender to maybe do that. Oh, I have an idea. No, I don't. Let's see. We can bolster to maybe get some more. I'm not really sure what the right play is here. Well, that's a little tricky. So we'll use the defend. This one doesn't get rid of fire though. I think what we really need to do is get as many of these cards out. So we're going to use the forager to forage twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that will give us some flexibility with our fire, making sure that it won't get extinguished. And then we want to defend twice, ideally with some cards. We could send the fire tender over here. So let's do that. So that's 1 for the maneuver, 2 for defending. Then we can use the defender to defend 1, and then let's move them all the way up here. So over other characters 2, and then we can use the leader to bolster the defender so they can defend again. Only no more than 2 heroes may defend, so that's technically the same hero defending. I think that is correct. And then we have these monsters left, which is not great. These will go to the bottom first though, and then we'll resolve our monster attack. So this one gets rid of 1 fire. And this puts us down to 1. So we have our last upgrade action, which will upgrade our fire tender. All right. And 2 damage, which will get rid of the forager, unfortunately. Then they'll go to their level 1 side and go to the tent. We will have this one, which gets rid of 2, 1, 2. Then we have this one, which gets rid of 1 and does 2 damage to the nearest hero, which unfortunately is our defender, so they'll go to level 1 as well. And then we can place our scout out. I think that we want to put them in an empty spot. I don't know, maybe over here. No, that's not empty because this is here. We have 1, 2, so we can put them here, here, or here. Neither of any of those is really great. Maybe we'll put them there so we can leap over the fire tender, or the leader can maneuver them somehow. We'll see how it ends up working out. Then we're going to spawn 3 monsters. Hopefully we have 3 fire cards here. So we have 1, 2, it'll move up to 2. And then we have 3, which will go here. So, yep, right there. All right, we have 1 fire card left. Oh my goodness. We got to really do some work. And again, spawn those based on the number of heroes that we have in camp. So just the 3 that round. And we can have no more than 2 heroes may maneuver. That sounds just fine because what we're going to do is have the fire tender maneuver here across the fire and defend. Then we will have the leader move the scout here and we will forage. Then we will have the scout defend twice. Hopefully that will be sufficient. And that is it. So these cards will go under. I have a bad feeling about this. All right. So this friend will diminish the fire by 2. But since the closest card is the fire tender, they will block 1 of those, which is pretty nice. So 1 will go in here. And this is our Dawn card. So this is the final round that will resolve to see if we win. These 2 cards, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So they'll get rid of 2 fire cards, fire tender ability. So we'll get rid of 1 of those. And then they will attack for 2, which will kill the fire tender. but we luckily have 2 fire cards left. Oh, 3 fire cards left. We have survived until dawn and have successfully defended our fire. So there you have it. That is a solo playthrough of Embers. I really love tower defense types of attrition games. And I think as a solo experience, this works really well. It has a really puzzly nature to it. At first, I wasn't sure how it would work out. It seemed like it was just easy resource management, but the limitations of the maneuvers for each of the characters and how their unique abilities work is just really concise and clean. There's just enough flavor for each of them to make each character feel unique, but without being overwhelming with a lot of different abilities or things that you need to read and check up on. And the iconography for all of the movements is also very clear. I love that the different fire cards have different abilities, the fact that you can play on easy, normal, or hard mode as well. In hard mode, you don't get the free upgrades, which I feel would be very challenging. So I think there's a really good breadth of different options there based on your skill level and your desired level of challenge. Overall, Embers really hit it out of the park for me. Subjectively, I think that the art and theme are amazing. Mechanically, I really love the idea of the monsters piling up. The closer that you get to dawn and stoking your fire, I think it really ties to the theme very well and builds a lot of tension throughout. It's quick to learn, quick to play, but with enough variety between the different fire cards, different monsters, and each hero's unique abilities, and managing to keep your fire lit, I think provides for some really engaging gameplay. Embers is scheduled to launch on Kickstarter September 2025, so you can go to ButtonShy's website if you want to get notified. Definitely make sure to back this one if you like what you saw here today. Again, a huge thank you to ButtonShy for providing a copy of Embers for us to check out pre-launch and for just really being supportive of our channel and the community. And that's about all the time we have for today. If you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, giving a thumbs up and subscribing really does help out the channel, and it helps get these games out to a wider audience of folks in the community who might enjoy them as much as I definitely have, and you may as well. Thanks so much as always for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.